Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee I will break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. We are back at you with another lesson, giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem B'Kakodash. Give double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and the house of David is rising. So yes, man, getting familiar with these words, and through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, bringing out some precepts through the spirit. And these precepts came to me, and throughout the duration of this video, we're gonna bring it out. We're gonna bring it out. You understand why I'm doing a video like this? So the Most High has an axe to grind. The Most High has an axe to grind. It's gonna be the title of this video, and we're gonna check out certain words as we usually do. Coming back to the blue letter, we're gonna check out the Google first of all. Right, so battle axe. And we're getting straight into it. Okay, the meaning in Google: battle axe, axe, pike, hauberk. If I can pronounce this word here, poleaxe, axe, pike, hauberk, tomahawk, mace. Right, just tapped in the synonym of battle axe. Battle axe synonyms: Haradan, dragon, crone, witch, hag. Well, these are all the synonyms. Gurgon, agrease. Right, man, there's a lot here, but dragon, that's a strange. So this is described as dragon also, and one of my favorite, which we know the dragon is a mythical animal, but still one of my favorite. Battle axes, weapon of war, a mythical monster like a giant reptile in Europe tradition. The dragon is typically fire breathing and tends to symbolize chaos or evil, whereas in the East Asia is usually beneficent symbol of fertility associated with water and heavens. Fierce and intimidating. Fierce and intimidating woman. Oh, that's when that's that. Go back to that old degrading word. Battle axe or old dragon. Something we need to degrade something. Flying lizard. So yeah, man, a mythical monster like a giant reptile. That comes under the word battle axe. Would you have known that? No. That's why we get into these words, man. Well, that's what Google says. Now let's see, because we're gonna entitle this video "Axe to Grind." Well, we're gonna entitle it "The Most High as an axe to grind." So we've heard that term as well. Also, we heard that term get thrown around also. Perhaps you've heard it. Axe to grind. Oh, that old lady, got an axe to grind. Oh, that guy's got an axe to grind. My boss, he's got an axe to grind. Have a private reason for doing or being involved in something. He has no political axe to grind. There's a lot of people in this world that has an axe to grind. We just heard about that battle axe that just copped it, just kicked the bucket. Who wants to be the next king? Prince Charles. Seems very much to me he has an axe to grind. Throwing a wobbly with the leaking pens and the pens that ain't working. Throwing a wobbly and showing his true colours. He's gnashing and gritting his teeth like the beast they are. And yeah, we know that they got an axe to grind, and they're going to show their true colours. They're going to show their true colours because they want this thing to come through. The new world order. See, so they're going to show their true colours. They have an axe to grind. But who do we fear? We fear the Most High. The Most High has an axe to grind, as we're going to look at back to Jeremiah and go in a little bit more. Jeremiah chapter 51, and that's who we fear, the Most High. He has an axe to grind. So now we're checking out this word here in the etymology. Axe. Straight to it in axe says, edged instrument for hoeing timber and chopping wood. Also a battle weapon. Old English axe, pickaxe, hatchet, and all these other little terms here. Axe, Gothic, from pi, axe, source also of Greek, axion, Latin. Spelling axe is better and every ground of etymology. We're looking at it. Alright, that's the point there. A battle weapon. That's all we need from that. So, edged instrument for hoeing timber and chopping wood. Also a battle weapon. Etymology. Right, back to Jeremiah. Like I say, we're getting acquainted with this word. Because why? Because we're going to become very, very much more familiar with this term here, battle axe. Why? As we read on in Jeremiah 51 and 20, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. Who is he talking about with thee? We know he's talking about the Most High as an axe to grind. And he's going to use, who's he going to use? Let's go in, man. This has got to be one of my favorite precepts. And let me drop the reason why we're doing this video. You know, sometimes you get these visions, which I get a lot of visions. Well, I don't drop all of them, but this one was just pushing forward, just kept pushing forward. I couldn't forget it. And we know about this new law in Illinois. I think it's in Chicago. The No Bail law that's coming out in January next year, 23rd. Yeah, criminals no bail law, something along them lines. They're gonna get rid of they're gonna get rid of the Constitution in a sense, in a way. So, you know, it's been called the purge. That's what it's been called, which is a good name for it, the purge. So crime is gonna go through the roof, which is we're already on a high level anyway. But this is all the Most High's plan. So in this vision, this was fresh, not yesterday, the night before, and I thought, man, maybe I ain't gonna mention it, but I'm gonna mention it. I met somebody, you might say a 2/3, and he was talking to me. And he was talking about, yeah, I got this, you know. And this is what's happening now when you're hearing about this new law. You can through the spirit, you know, that's what the talk is. People are going to be able to be in your house. You can't kick them out. Basically, you have to make your own decisions. You can't just, the feds. You can't rely on the feds. You're either of the Most High, right? Which we're going to go into the precepts, or you're of Satan. So this is the time to get closer to the Most High and be of the Most High, chosen elect of the Most High, to be protected. So the Most High is a battle axe, and he's going to use his weapons of war. And yeah, so this person, maybe I shouldn't say everything at this point. This person was showing me, you know what I've got? He's talking about his weapons. He says, I've got a walkie-talkie, and I know what the feds are up to. I'm listening to them, and he says, yeah. And he says, yeah, you know what else I got? Right, this is a vision. Bear in mind, this is a vision, but you just have to pick sense from nonsense. I've also got everything that the feds have got, the centurions have got, I've got. Right, and this was a 2/3. Right. He said, everything that the centurions have got, I've got. Right? I've got the walkie-talkie. Right? Because in other words, there's some underground things going on. This is the vision. It just came to me. And I wasn't thinking about it. It just came to me through the Spirit. So, walkie-talkies, right? So they're listening to what the feds are up to in this vision. Tasers, and they got the sword, right? The modern day sword, which is a gun. And they said, yeah, this is what we're going to use when they try and come in with their purge. This is what we're going to use. So you got 2/3 out there. All they're talking about is weaponing up, tooling up for protection. So people are very worried, right? This is why we're doing this video. So the Most High is talking about his weapons of war, right? Now we just looked at the word in Google, battle axe. Battle axe.
Strong's H 4661. Mapates.
What does it say now in Jeremiah to the Strongs? Smiter, a war club, battle axe. Right? War club, battle axe, hammer. Right? With thee, he says, with thee will I break in pieces. When it says with thee, who's he talking about? With thee will I break in pieces. Let's check this one. With thee. Alright. Precepts that come up. Let's get straight to it with thee. And we're getting familiar and more acquainted with the words. We know very well what he's talking about. With thee. Convenient precept really would be Ezekiel. There you have it. Ezekiel. Yep. A man shall come, and with thee neither let any man be seen throughout the month, neither let his flock. Hold on, let me find the precept to hit the ball out the park straight away. Right, here you go. And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him. He's talking about his people. He's talking about his people with thee. And the Lord said unto Moses, write thou these words, for after the terror of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. There you have it. Bang on. With thee and with Israel. He's talking about his people. So what he's going to do, let's go back. He's talking about with thee. With thee will I break in pieces. You're just talking about you're going to break in pieces.
Strong's H 5310. Nafats.
And the nations.
Strong's H 1471. Goy.
You're going to break in pieces. Is first of all, shatter, break, dash, beat in pieces, to shatter, shattering, infinite, to dash to pieces, disperse, overspread, be scattered, to be scattered. So when the Most High says we're going to dash with thee, will I dash in pieces? That's what he's saying, which we know. We're just going in, being specific with the word. And who's he talking about? You looked at it already.
Strong's H 1471.
Goyim or Goy. Who's he going to do? Nations, people. We're going to mash them up. In the most blunt way to say it. We're going to mash them up. We're going to bruck them up. Yeah? We're going to scatter them. Disperse them. Usually for non-Hebrew people. Right. Yeah, there you have it. The descendants of Israel. So usually for non-Hebrew people. That's it. As he says, the nations, the Goyim. Enough said on that. So battle axe, most are going to destroy them. So yeah, man, the vision. Sometimes you get these visions and you say, right, but then when you can make sense from them, when precepts come to you, bam, 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 you know they're from the right hand side. So this was going on. This is what's going on now because of these threatening new draconian laws that are coming out. People are gonna have no sense of where to go, where to turn. It's just gonna go mad. The year of turn up. It's turning up already in this year. So it's gonna be the Constitution, people's legal rights are gonna go completely through the roof, out the window. Right, and with thee will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee, talking about the nations, will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. Right, and I will break in pieces with thee the shepherds and his flock, and thee will I break in pieces the handsman and the yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. Right, and I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all the evil that they have done in Zion in the sight, and thus saith the Lord. Right, all praises to Yahweh Shemishah. Behold, I am against thee. Right, all the goyim and the wicked of our own people and the nations. Behold, I am against thee, and particularly the main one, the main culprit is, I'm against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth, and I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and I will make thee a burnt mountain. Kala Yahweh, thus saith the Lord. So yes, man, back to the vision. And I was explaining to the guy, right? I was literally explaining to him in the vision, just like you do when people say, you know what you're going to have to do when this thing takes place, the laws break down and there's no more, and there's a draconian law, right? And they throw the people's rights out the window, the constitutional rights out the window. And they're going to come in like a flood. Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. I said, listen. I said to him, and I looked at him in the eye. And he was showing me all these gadgets, what he's got. I don't know how he got them. But it was a vision, and he's showing me all the gadgets that he's got. Esau's gadgets, mind you, right? And this was a 2/3. I'll say no more. It was a 2/3, and he had all gadgets, Esau's gadgets, and he was saying, "Yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it." And I said, "Listen, you see what it is with the elect. This is what we gonna do, right? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him." He's saying, "What you got?" I was just breaking it down to him, right? And the Redeemer shall come into Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith the Lord. And I had to break it down to them, because the Most High is telling you through the Spirit, when the enemy coming like a flood, right? When the enemy coming like a flood, he gonna defend you. And you're trying to explain it to someone who has no faith, how they're gonna respond. The Most High has blinded the mind of the unbelievers, that the truth don't shine through. And I was breaking it down to him. Another precept, Ephesians chapters 2. I was going through it with him. Ephesians chapters 2 and 7. Just so that you can understand. Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 7, as a matter of fact. Let's go to 6. And hath raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places through Yahushua Mashiach, or Mashiach Yahushua. that in the ages to come he might show the exceeding riches of his grace in his kindness toward us through Mashiach Yehoshua, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Why? Why is he going to do that? That in the ages to come he might show the exceeding riches of his grace in his kindness toward us through Yehoshua Mashiach. For by grace are we saved through faith, and that not of ourselves. Right. I was breaking it down. Not of ourselves. It is the gift of God. And I was very convinced through the spirit, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shai, that I ain't going to need to get none of that. I ain't going to need to get none of those gadgets what he was showing me. He had a taser, he had a mic, walkie-talkie what he got somehow. He said he was listening to what they was talking about. You understand? He was knowing their goings ins and their comings out. Right? He was listening to them, checking them out. And this is what goes on in a lot of them ghetto places. This is what goes on. This is what kind of mindset some of these criminals have. And also he had a modern day sword, which he probably got that somehow too on the black market. And I was saying, listen, man, this is what we're coming with, man. The elect, yeah. We looked at that in Jeremiah 51. What we got, because the Most High says, let's read it again. Most High says what? And with thee will I break in pieces the horses and the rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariots and his rider. You understand? Because why? Because why? Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. So yeah. Why? Again, jump up to 19 of Jeremiah 51. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Oh, more words, more words. You can't escape these words. We're getting acquainted with these words. With Israel, Jacob, what? The portion of Jacob. So we don't want to keep it. There's loads of beautiful words we can go into here. Portion of Jacob. Right, but we want a particular word that stood out here. Right, here it is. Israel. Here's a word here. Sounds nice.
Strong's H 7626. Shevet. Shevet.
Right.
And second entry, Shevet. Shevet.
All right. With Jacob is what? The rod of his inheritance. Rod, staff, branch, offshoot, club, scepter, tribe, club of shepherds, implement. There you have it. Mark of authority. Because Jacob is the rod of his inheritance. Right, Jacob. And he says, with thee. So we'll go back to that word, with thee. This also answers the questions. With thee will I break in pieces nations, kingdoms, and nations and princes. Nations, kingdoms, and princes with thee.
Strong's H 3290. Yaakov. Yaakov.
With thee, who are with thee? Thee is talking about the sons of Isaac, grandson of Abraham, the father of the 12 tribe. There you have it, of the tribe of Israel. And that's what he's talking about with thee. So you can understand. Jacob, heel holder or supplanter. Heel holder or supplanter. Son of Isaac's grandson of Abraham, father of the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's what he's going to use. That's what he's going to use to break in pieces. Really, the point is already made, but why not go a little bit more? And I'll read it again, because there's other precepts we want to bring out too. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. Of Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. when it says, and out my battle axe and the weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. With thee, who is he talking about? Thee? The portion of Jacob. That's who he's talking about. Is not like them, for he is the form of all things. Of Israel is the rod of his inheritance, the Lord of hosts. Point made, point blank, period. Point made already. But we've got some precepts we want to go into now. You looked at Isaiah 59, when they're coming like a flood, Spirit going to lift up. What did he say? Isaiah 59:19. So shall the fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Yeah, going to lift up a standard. If you try and come and you touch his elect, yeah, Israel, Jacob, the sons of Jacob, Israel, Most High say what? The Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith the Lord. And that's the ones you're going to protect. You try and come near them and touch them. Touch not mine anointed, mine elect. That's in Psalms 15, Psalms 5 and 15. Come not near my elect. Touch not my anointed, touch not my elect. Right? Because we have that faith, man. As a matter of fact, just dig that one out. Get the dust off that one. First I'm gonna check it out in the laptop. Psalms 105, I think it is. Or is it 104? Yeah, that's the one. Now we go to the blue letter for you to see. It's okay, we get it right this time. And the point we want is Psalms 105 and 13 says, when they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another people, he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yeah, he reproved kings for their sakes. Yeah, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. With the power and spirit of Yahweh Shai. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, that's what's going to happen. Touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Now, if you have to be a martyr for this truth, if that's what your lot is, that's what your lot is. You just be put to sleep for a very short time, and then it's just like boom, boom, back, straight away through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shai. If that's what your lot is, that's what your lot is, and that's also in Revelation chapters 2 and 10. You understand? If you have to die faithful or be imprisoned for 10 days, it's a very short time, but it's all of the Most High. Whatever the Most High has in plan for you, has in store for you, that's of the Most High. That's your lot. But ultimately, right, he's saying here, he suffered no man to do them wrong, yea, reproved kings for their sakes, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. The power and spirit of Yahweh Shai, when they come in like a flood. Isaiah 59 and 19. Yes, man. So the Most High he most definitely has an axe to grind. Jeremiah chapters 51 and 19. He has an axe to grind. Yeah, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Thou art my battle axe. Right. The Most High as an axe to grind, and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. So if you used to say that, yeah, your God has an axe to grind. If someone was to say your God has an axe to grind, we would say, yes, he has. He's got an axe to grind. And boy, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. That's in Hebrews chapters 10 and 31. Especially when you know he's got an axe to grind, right? Let's go to this one. That's why he's elect. He's elect in Isaiah 54 and 17 says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants, his elect, of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. No weapon that is formed against his elect shall prosper. Right? Because the Most High says, thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. Right? And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. Right? He said his righteousness is of me. You understand? We're his children, man. And you mess with anybody's children, they'll tell you that's my blood. And there's a saying out there, blood is thicker than water. Right. Blood is thicker than water. And if you're of the elects, if you're of the Most Highs, we've got another precept for that. Romans chapters 8. Right. 31 says, Romans chapter 8 and 31. What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? Yeah, you mess with any kind of animals, children. Any animal, especially you heard about that she bear. When you try and mess with its cubs, the she bear, as a matter of fact, don't mess with none of these wild animals cubs. The lion's cubs, the cheetah's cubs, the hyena's cubs. Because you be out of there. And I was watching this thing, a quick little clip where you had some acting a fool, as they usually do when they're out there in the wild with animals. Went a bit too close to it looked like a cougar out there in the a lot of those woodland lands, and a lot of the animals are showing that they're really not they ain't got the patience with these anymore. The sharks also, and this guy, Edomite guy, got a little bit too close to one of the cubs, and you can see this cougar, could have been a panther. It was pursuing this guy, and he was trying everything, shouting and making noises. And the cougar said, listen, man, I don't like what you did, man. You come a bit too close to my cubs. Get away. And he was shouting, and he started almost, you can hear the fear in his voice. And the cougar was like, he wanted him. He said, all right. He submitted. The cougar said, all right then. Yeah, but I'll let you off this time. But next time I might just nam you up. You can see it in the cougar's eyes, man. We don't like you guys. We don't like you, Eats. You understand? So, yeah, the point I'm making is you mess with my children, man. Yeah? Any animal's children or any human's children, right? They'll tell you. They'll tell you, man, don't mess. Blood is thicker than water. But even worse, yeah, Hebrews chapters 10 and 31 says, it is a fearful thing to fall unto the hands of the living God. And what did you do? You touched the anointed, the sons of Yasharallah, the so-called black people who you love to hate. Right? It says, nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. Right. What shall we then say to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? And all this, what I'm saying now, in the vision I was explaining to this guy who he was tooled up. Because a lot of people are worried, and they're worried about this purge that's about to break out, right? Crime's about to go through the roof. A lot of people are worried about this this MOTB, they know what's coming down the pipes. But Romans he kind of says it in a nutshell. 37 says, nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors. Right. Through him that loved us. We know the Most High has got our back. Through the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Shai. Another precept, just to drive the point home, in Jeremiah 10 and verse 10 says, but the Lord is the true God. He is the living God and an everlasting King. Right, you ain't gonna knock this God off his perch. Yeah, you just heard about the wicked witch of the north, east, south and west. Just kick the bucket. Yeah, one king comes in and then they're out of there. You know, one king come in, one king come out. As Daniel broke down in Daniel chapter 7. All these kings one comes in, you got the Belshazzar at that time of Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, the Most High warned him. He said, yeah, you see what I did to your grandfather, Nebuchadnezzar? I turned him into a beast. That's in Daniel chapter 5. You understand? And for him to acknowledge that it's me that set him up. Nebuchadnezzar, I turned him into a beast. And he's living out there in wild land, wet body, yamming grass, until the Most High restored him so that he could acknowledge that it's him that set up kings in the heavens and it's him that cast them down. You understand? So you had all these kings that the Most High put in places, you understand, to take them there to serve their time and to cast them out, to get rid of them. You know, the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks and the Romans. And we're back in this time now. You understand? At the bottom of the image, where there's no everything is separate. You talk about the molten clay and the iron, right? There's no unity, and we're back at that time now. The Romans are back here ruling. You understand? Which is the wicked all over again. Through the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Shai, revealed these things to Daniel, and Daniel revealed them to Nebuchadnezzar. And also to Belshazzar, his grandson. The Most High set up, the Most High cast down. So you got this other one cast down, yeah? The wicked witch of the north, west, south, and east. That's what I'll say. Because she colonized. She colonized for the most part the whole world, most part of the world, man. And Americans will tell you that. The Australians will tell you that. The Jamaicans will tell you that. The Africans will tell you that, and they're still under a spell of that wicked witch of the north, east, south, and west. Still under that strong delusion, and they ain't gonna wake up. But until the Most High comes back, Yahweh, then they're going. This is what you're gonna do, man. Jeremiah 10 and 10. But the Lord is the true God; He is the living God and an everlasting King. And then they will know. You understand? He's not in for a short period, as also mentioned in Daniel chapters 2 and 44. You're going to set up that kingdom that will never die, man. Everlasting kingdom. Yeah, everlasting king, that his wrath, the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignations when he comes in. Giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yoshai, for giving me the spirit to do this video. And I was breaking it down. Many people ain't got that gift. Many people ain't got that gift. But the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Shai belong to Jacob and his children. Back to Ephesians chapters 2 and 8. 7. That in the age to come he might show the exceeding riches of his grace in his kindness toward us through Yahushua Mashiach. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of ourselves, it is the gift of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai. It is a gift. And I was breaking it down that we knew through the Spirit that the Most High's got our back. The Most High's got our back because we are gifted with that faith, and we stand on that faith. Last time, hit the ball out the park. Jeremiah 51. Started with it, we won't end with it. And 19 says, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. Kala Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. The Most High as an axe to grind. Shalom until the next one.